through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
I can't believe the backlash that there's been with the Babcock being hired by the U of S Huskies.
How about that?
He's from here. He went to school there. He's already coached university hockey. I was saying it's a GPAC, Canada West. What are they calling it now? What surprised me was the people in hockey that thought he was done.
He's evolved and he's grown as a man and as a coach, and I think that's a good thing.
This is the Rod Peterson Show.
It is. Good morning, Canada, and good afternoon to our Eastern friends, Canadian sports fans around the world. We are on the air. The RP Show, Canada's daytime sports talk show, coming to you out of the sweatpants capital here in Western Canada. I'm Rod. He's Moose DuPont. Hey. Very big day today. We've had some guests jump around here for various reasons. Tim Leeper was supposed to be with us, former Blue Jays first base coach for 5 seasons. Had a family emergency. He is not going to be with us today. So what's tomorrow he's going to come on? Okay, Blue Jays, first segment tomorrow. So Kirk Myers from Team Dunstone. He's our curling analyst, but he's also part of the Team Dunstone, Saskatchewan curling rep for the Brier. He'll be joining us from the Calgary Bubble coming up. Also, Brian Angstad from Telemiracle. Whoa, is that total jumped over the last 24 hours? What's going on? Bravo, Saskatchewan. Bravo for answering the bell for Telemiracle. The longtime Winnipeg Jets broadcaster Brian Munz will be joining us, and we've got a lot to talk about with Munzy. And it's not just the Jets. And then, of course, Mike Babcock will be with us in the second last segment of the show. Everybody's asking me, when's Babs on? When's Babs on? 12:40 Central, 1:40 Eastern. But maybe just tune in for the entire 2 hours. How about that?
How about that? That's a good idea.
That will serve you all very well. But anyways, those are the guests today. And Jordan, can we please hit the quick 6 show topics if you don't mind? Thank you so much. I'm starting with NHL leftovers from Monday night, if you don't mind. And here they are. So the Leafs lost 3-0 at home to the Calgary Flames last night. I'm surrounded by Leaf fans, as you know. And my first leftover is that the Leafs were undermanned. I took the gratuitous low-hanging fruit of defending the Leafs. You're
love that.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And, of course, a lot of people are saying, don't be like TSN and Sportsnet. Don't defend the Leafs. I said, I don't really believe it. I'm just saying it. But who did not play? Wayne Simmons and Joe Thornton. And the goalie, of course. But of the two skaters, what do they have in common? Shouldn't be that hard for you to figure out.
I don't know.
They weren't with the Leafs last year.
Right.
So think about that for 1 second. They're the grit and the sandpaper and the je ne sais quoi. And they don't play, and the Leafs don't win. So there might be a little more to it than you think. Point 2 of the leftovers, brought to you by Tupperware. I am not touching the Panarin story. Not interested. Point 3. Coach Q for Coach of the Year. What do you say? Look at that Discover Central division. They're the number 1 team, the Florida Panthers, in the National Hockey League. How'd that happen?
Yeah, it's a year too late. I kind of predicted. I predicted his impact would come last year, right?
That's right.
And clearly,
How about that?
it's happening now.
The next one, Trevor Zegras debuted for the Anaheim Ducks last night in a loss. And his stat line was, say it with me, 0, 0, 0. But also +1 for Trevor Zegras. It wasn't his fault the Ducks lost. And then the 5th point on that is Mike Babcock is on our show today. So those are the leftovers from last night. Discuss at will. It was another fun night of hockey. Point 2 of the Quick Six show topics is we're actually going to touch the Panarin story just in this. You see he's taken a leave from the New York Rangers because the stories come out of Russia that he assaulted an 18-year-old girl back in 2011. Obviously a serious charge. The Rangers are standing behind their player, and it's because he's spoken out against Vladimir Putin. I watch SportsCenter, okay? I watch the news. And they're saying that it's because he spoke out against the Russian president, and now they're trying to make his life miserable. And that's why I don't really want to talk about it a whole lot, because the Russians don't screw around. In my time in hockey, we've dealt with a lot of Russians. Great guys, different world. Fair?
Fair. And we don't know if there's going to be another summit series in our Olympic Games.
Yeah.
If there's a time that we have to go to Russia, and won't be welcomed in. No, it's a tough thing for sure. It sounds, people want to scoff and say it sounds like a movie, but
it's real.
It's real.
It's absolutely real.
It's real stuff.
And I'm not going to go into the stories because I'm getting old and I can't remember what I can say on the air and what I can't. But Russian NHL players back in the day that were mobbed up with the KGB, we knew who they were in the hockey world. Not going to mention names. It's not a nice story.
No.
Sean McCormick's watching from the Game Plus control room. Hey, Sean, he says, more grit, too, and Hyman and Muzzin were out last night. The refs were consistently bad on both sides last night, and the Flames buried their chances. I was waiting for somebody to say, yeah, the Leafs were undermanned, but the Flames didn't have their goalie Markstrom either. And I'm starting to think, is he their goalie?
Riddick played pretty good
and he's been getting yanked regularly. The Flames have not been getting their money's worth out of Jacob Markstrom. Nobody can argue that. And Riddick got his 60th career win last night. That's moved him up. He's nowhere near the Mike Vernons and the Kiprusoffs and so forth, but 60 wins is a lot. It's hard to get one in the National Hockey League as a goalie. 60? Bravo to David Riddick.
Oh, yeah.
Point 3 is one I could spend some time on. Had some text going around this morning and some videos from the CTV Toronto with the sport minister, Lisa McLeod, and you watched it. My point is, in defense of the CFL, we've probably been too hard on the CFL. I'm going back and forth. We just really want them to play. We really love the Canadian Football League, and it would help out this show immensely as one of the only networks in the country that talks about the Canadian Football League if they actually played. But my commentary this morning on Cat Country 98 is simply this. They're different than every other league. They've got big staffs. They're paying their players, unlike junior hockey that are going to play in a bubble, and the curlers only get paid if they win. They've got huge staffs, which comes with huge costs. They don't have the money that the NFL and NHL have. The CEBL and the Canadian Premier League can play over a period of 2 weeks, right? They've got smaller rosters. They're not paying as much. Like the CFL's just taking it in the pills because of just the way that they are. And it's not even their fault. And to ask them to pivot and be agile and get lean and be creative is probably not reasonable. And for them to play without fans is really, it's incredibly risky. So with all the phone calls that I've had in the last 24 hours and the news coverage that we've seen with regards to where the vaccine's going and so forth, sorry to say, it just doesn't look good. It's praying for a miracle that people are going to get vaccinated. What Randy Ambrosie said back at Grey Cup Unite Week was not a lie. Hey, there's vaccines coming out. We're excited. We're optimistic. That's what he said, if you remember. Randy Ambrosie, you may like him or not, he's not a liar. Not a liar. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't like what he says.
Right.
But he's not going to, I don't believe he's going to try and snow you. And these aren't good times for the CFL. But having said that, I aired that CTV clip in our morning meeting for everybody. And you watched it. And you got something out of it. Do you remember what it was? I'm going to ask you.
Put in the work.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're alluding to.
Yeah.
And I mean,
but why you say that is why. Tell me.
They talked about, a lot of things. And, one of the questions, it started with the Ontario Hockey League. And they proved a lot of, confirmed a lot of things that we've talked about on this show. When they talked about the return to play in the Ontario Hockey League, the question was, when's it going to happen? What kind of a date? And, as a government, really hopeful that they can get the OHL season in prior to the NHL draft, which confirmed it's not about playing for championships or getting these communities, their hockey teams back. It's about having the kids on the ice so that they can be seen ahead of a draft, which is so important in their development.
But did you mention the 600-page?
So that's it. And then, so the NHL...
That's the crux of it.
They talked about why would the OHL not play yet, but the NHL has. And she said, well, the NHL came to us with a 600-page plan. And they've got this health organization on board and this rural health organization on board, and every I's been dotted and T's been crossed. A 600-page report, which we've said all along. Everybody can play if you put in the work and present a plan that makes everybody comfortable. So put in the work. Come up with a plan. And also said that they haven't seen a plan from the CFL yet either.
She said that. Lisa McLeod, the Ontario sport minister, said we have not seen a plan, which you were shocked by that.
I kind of hoped that we'd be on a plan that had been rejected, refined to the second plan that had been better but maybe rejected, and maybe onto a third plan by now. They want training camp in May. Potentially.
Oh, yeah. So anyways, Tom Halleck's watching in Winnipeg, and he says the CFL playing a season would be a gigantic boost to my spirits. So now I'll put my counseling cap on and say, Tom, you're not alone. There's a lot of people, John Lynch being another one. Their whole life is the CFL and Rough Rider football. For a lot of people, we learned last summer, I couldn't believe it. I'd heard about these people, but I'd never met them, that all they follow is the Rough Riders. That's it. And without them, they were completely lost. Tom, if you want to continue to be completely lost and miserable, and I see your social media posts about that, that's your choice. But I got into racing, and I went to the racetrack. I went to 3 different racetracks last summer. It was unbelievable. I got hooked on racing, and now I'm still hooked on racing. And the racing people just brought me right in, right?
Yeah.
So I've said it 8 million times. I'll say it 8 million and one. Wallow in what isn't, or celebrate what is. Think about something else, or don't. It's entirely up to you. John Kirby in Edmonton says, so question, Rod, you have a video on your Twitter feed saying, I just slipped
that you
off.
would sign a waiver.
That you would sign a waiver and go into a stadium. You damn rights I would, John. And I don't want John Kirby in Edmonton to hijack the Quick Six show topics here, but I was just on a call this morning with a junior hockey guy who was referring or showed that photo of Minot the other night, the packed arena. Minot,
yeah.
It gets closer to here than Prince Albert. Geographically, and we're in the same province. Minot is not that far away, and they packed the Pepsi Arena down there for the Minot junior team. So we had a call just this morning, and I said, look, South Dakota, you've been watching the coverage out of there? They're rocking and rolling. I'm sorry, this thing keeps falling out of my ear. They're rocking and rolling in South Dakota like nothing's going on. Yeah, they're getting slammed, and their deaths are 5 times what this province's are. Okay, so I said it's pretty hard to argue against what this province is doing versus what South Dakota is doing in the terms of keeping people safe, right? So we went back and forth on that, and he said, well, if you had to shoot down a plane with a terrorist on it that was coming at the Twin Towers, you'd probably shoot the plane down to kill 100 people versus 3,000. And I said, so it's all about what you're willing to risk. So again, I would sign a waiver and go to the arena. I would, because I'm a healthy person. I'm still sitting here saying, like, I don't want the virus, But if they follow the procedures of social distancing, 6 feet apart in the arena, and wash your hands and wear a mask, and I can go watch the games, I would do it. But we don't have that choice. We haven't been given that choice. In South Dakota, they've been given that choice. I don't think I'm going to die. My parents are gone. I don't have vulnerable people in my life. So I would do it. Clearly you wouldn't, and that's your choice. And all those of us that are on this side are saying is, give us the choice. And I'm not going to go down the road of those that are saying this is unconstitutional, that we're being held against our will and blah, 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 because it's actually not that bad. But I'll say to a lot of people, please, please, please don't get used to this. Remember 2 Fridays ago I said that, and I brought that up on the phone call this morning to the guy. It's very easy to get used to this. Oh, restaurants are open, gyms are open, movie theaters are open. Oh, man, this is kind of nice. Just sit on the couch every night, eating ice cream and watching NHL. What the hell's wrong with this? You know?
Oh, yeah.
You could get lulled into that real easy and forget about all the people that are hurting because of the restrictions. And I'm just asking you to not get used to this or do whatever the hell that you want to do. But that's what I would like to do, John, is be able to sign a waiver and have control over my own life because I haven't got COVID yet because I've been following the rules. Okay?
And that's the difference, right? It's not that we want to disregard the rules and just go do what we want to do, right? Forget about the rules. I'm going to do what I want to do because that's my right. No, I want the rules to be allow me to sign a waiver and go to the rink, right? I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Some people just are a little too simple to grasp that. Trent Bruner is watching in Norway. Norway calling, great rant. It's not even really a rant. What are you laughing at?
Usually it's a paragraph. Norway
Trent.
calling, great rant.
Rod's rant brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Do you have it on here? You must.
Well, it's somewhere.
Mention Rod sent you and get 10% off Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Unscheduled rant here this morning. Nelson Hakowich, our VP of Sim Events, says the CFL needs to sell its soul to advertisers like every other pro sports league on the planet. Well, that's what we think, Nelson, but that's what my point 3 was earlier, and my commentary this morning is doesn't seem like that's happening. Doesn't seem like that's happening. They got to raise far more money to play, and that's just with a chance of playing. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. And what I think the CFL will do is mothball. That's what I think they'll do. Before they actually say we're done and fold and go bankrupt like the XFL did, they'll mothball. And what that is, by the way, which a year ago, none of us would have had any idea what mothballing was.
I know.
But now we are averse in all these terms. And one is mothballing, which is completely ceasing operations. Done. Mr. GM, Mr. PR person, marketing people, go home. Go find a job somewhere else. And when we come back, whenever that is, we'll call you. The XFL has done that. They've done it. The NLL has done that. That's what the CFL is going to have to do. That's what I see happening. Point 4, and we're not going to be able to get through all of these points, but that's okay. Here in the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the NFL, Scotty's Talk. I saw what was going on in the Sherry Anderson-Jennifer Jones game last night. I wasn't real interested in moving off the Vegas-Colorado game. This, the curling report's for Verge, Agriculture, and Calgary. This isn't specifically the curling report, but here's my question. And Kirk Myers can answer this because he's coming in next. What happens if a wild card team wins? What happens if a wild card team wins the Scotties? Think about that for a second. Because you get the banner, right?
Yep.
And it would have your province on it, I would think.
I would think.
So just say Zacharias wins. I think she's wild card 1. I think. Like, I'm starting to get my handle around who all these teams are.
Yep.
Where would they put the banner and what would they put on the banner?
It would put Team Wildcard. They put Zacharias.
That's not very sexy.
Team Wildcard. Well, they weren't Team BC. They're not Team Ontario. They're not Team Saskatchewan. Team Alberta. It's not, but it's Team Wildcard. That's
okay. And they would put it up in their home rink.
Took the long road, right?
They would put it in their home rink.
Yeah, maybe the banner would be in the colors of their province.
That's what I'm saying. And maybe Kirk could speak more to this than he's next from Team Dunstone. But those Scotties banners, and we've all seen them. They're not, I don't think, in your province's colors. They're in red of Scotties. It's symbolic of you winning the national championship, right? So it's not in your province's colors. I get that.
Right.
But would it say on the bottom, Team Wildcard? Where would the banner go?
Be the same with Team Canada, right, too?
Yes.
It'd say Team Canada.
Right. So I'm just...
Interesting.
Where my mind goes. 0.5, okay, Blue Jays. We're going to push that to tomorrow when Tim Leeper joins us, 5 years as the Blue Jays first base coach. In 0.6, I split them. Raptors roll. Did you see Jack Armstrong? For all you doubters, all you that jumped off the bandwagon, welcome back. From Jack Armstrong. And then the Moose Jaw Warriors lost their GM too. So we got stuff to talk about. We got a break though.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Kirk Myers next on all these topics, and Mike Babcock coming up later. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, YouTube and Facebook Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Peterson Show.
It is. Welcome back. And as we get a lot of new viewers, and I've said this show moves fast, so you got to pay attention to what's going on. RJ writing us from the 604 Dupes on the Prairie Mobile text line. He says, just saw my first episode of the RP show. Looks great. I would way rather watch you guys than Tim and Sid. Thanks, RJ. We're not better. We're just different.
We like those guys too.
Yeah, they're great. Well, it's not going to be Tim and Sid for long. Jeff in Calgary, the Stamps fan, just ahead of Kirk Myers. He thinks I'm going to be upset here, but I'm not. He said, Rod, with due respect, I am confused with your CFL views. To me, it seems you go from optimistic one day to total hopelessness and pessimism the next regarding a season happening. It's hard to gauge where you really stand. Thank you, Jeff. Welcome to following the CFL. Did you hear the commissioner last week? He was no more definitive than I am. Why I'm optimistic? I'd like to think these guys and gals that we have in charge as leaders in the Canadian Football League can be creative enough and pivot and bold enough to make this happen. But the more I talk to people and realize they're very likely not. And I think that we're seeing the end of the CFL. Okay? Now, you want me to stand up and say whether they're going to play or not? The commissioner can't. So why the hell would I be able to?
We're day trading with the CFL here. 1 minute the stock's on the way up and we're excited.
Yeah.
Next minute it's on the way down and we got new news and we get, kind of hopeless.
Plus there's a ton going on that we don't even know about. You're hearing one thing and what's going on, which is actually going on, is another. But anyways, enough about that because Kirk Myers has been holding long enough. Team Dunstone, he's the second. He is in Calgary in the bubble and he looks like he's going NASCAR racing this morning. How you doing, Kirk?
I'm doing well. Just hunkering down in quarantine, and I'm pretty glad the Scotties is on to pass the time. That's for sure.
That is 9 hours of curling coverage a day on TSN. So for a curling lover, that is an absolute buffet. So what would you say to my question that if a wild card team won the Scotties, what would the banner say and where would it go?
I listened to that, and I started thinking about it, and I was wondering when you said it, but then I thought, let's look back to when Sandra Schmirler would have won as Team Canada. I think she might have won when she won her Scotties. I'm not sure if she won Team Canada, but nonetheless, I believe it's similar to when the Team Canada won before the wild cards. It would go back to their home club. It would say Team Canada on it, and then it would say they won the Scotties. And like you said, it would be in the red and white of the Scotties Tournament Hearts. And I think probably now it would say Team Wildcard, to be honest with you. I know that's weird. And I don't think many curlers would want to win the Brier or the Scotties as Team Wildcard and then have Team Wildcard hang in their curling club. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I hope we can do it as Team Saskatchewan.
I know, but I'm such a contrary thinker, Kirk. Like, I'm laying in bed last night going, what happens if this happens? And the other thing, don't forget, is you get a patch on your arm. So if you're representing Saskatchewan or Manitoba down the line and you've got a brown and yellow jacket on, but then you have a wild card, like, it is a little confusing, right?
It is. And if you're a really diehard curling fan, there's tons of talk going around about the Purple Heart. So if you win a provincial championship, you get a Purple Heart. And that's what it's always been about. And then, so now there's a couple things. The Team Wildcards don't get that Purple Heart, as I understand it. But then with what happened this year, the big debate is whether teams at all should get a Purple Heart. Because basically no team won their provincial championship. They all just got appointed to go to the bubble. So there's been a huge debate in the curling world among, old school thinkers, new school thinkers, whether the teams deserve that Purple Heart. And it's a good question.
It's interesting for sure. Our sales rep in Calgary, the guy that brought us together with Verge Agriculture, they are sponsoring our curling coverage. Jim Perry says, Kirk Myers understands the value of his sponsors. He certainly does. We call him Jimmy Two Tables. But, Kirk, what's your analysis of 4 day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days of the Brier play so far?
Well, it's been a little bit of a Jekyll and Hyde thing going on. I mean, there's been some moments of quite honestly just poor curling, and I think you can chalk it up to just rust. I mean, there hasn't been enough time to get the reps in practicing, but there certainly hasn't been enough time for these teams to get the reps in playing against each other and getting the feel. And a lot of these teams are even new to begin with. Plus, they've had 8 or 9 months off, and you definitely saw that rust. And then you had moments you saw that really good, talented curler come out and make huge shots. I mean, you saw Laura Walker make a huge shot for the win, I think, on the first day. And then you see Chelsea Carey playing amazing curling. And you see moments of brilliance and then moments of just like what went on there. And I think there's an element of, one, it's that rust factor. Two, you lose a little bit of that focus because there's not that huge pressure in that arena of 5,000 people and that energy. It's a little dull. But I think as the week progresses and you especially get into the championship round, teams are going to get really a good handle on the ice and start making more shots. I think there's a factor of that is when the ice is new, it's a little tough as well. So you put all that together and there's really some imbalanced curling going on out there. And I think once we get later in the week, the ice makers, Greg Owasco, and the crew there are going to have the ice figured out. The teams are going to have the ice figured out. The teams are going to start sliding at the broom better. And I think going into the closing weekend, it's going to be a shootout.
My apologies. Darren has pointed out that I said Brier play. I'm talking to a Brier guy about the Scotties, so I had a brain cramp there. You got it. You understand. But, how about the play of our good friend Rachel Homan, who almost joined us this morning? She's in her third trimester, and she hasn't thrown a rock since November. I mean, I saw her throwing some in her backyard. I guess that doesn't count, but she's unbeaten, man. I guess, are you surprised by any of the results so far?
I don't know if I'm too surprised. I think I'm seeing a little bit of a letdown out of Jones, maybe a little bit. I kind of thought they'd come out a little bit more firing, and they seem to be struggling for where they would expect to be. So I think Jones is a little bit of a surprise so far. But as we know, when you watch Jenny Jones over the last 20 years, she's an animal late in the week. She's the best in the world when it matters, and she's probably the best of all time when it matters. So you can't count them out, but a little surprised at them so far. And then Rachel's team looks strong. They look confident. They look like they knew where to put the broom. They were making shots. They were throwing them with confidence and putting a lot of pressure on the opposition. So, I don't think there's any surprise that Rachel's going to be at the top there. But when you're 8 months pregnant and you haven't thrown in a long time, that can be a surprise. But yeah, they are looking so good. I think they're going to be tough to beat as the week goes on here.
Well, kudos to Rachel. I'm cheering for her. I couldn't believe when I read this morning she's only 31. I did an event with her in Paradise Hill just prior to the pandemic, and she just drove 2 hours from St. Paul, Alberta. It was nothing for her. And by the way, I've seen some male curlers, guys, with a boiler on them. Not much different than what she's carrying, by the way. So let's just point that out for a second.
Back in the 80s. Eh?
Exactly, right. I'm not going to name any names. But just one on your play, Kirk. Viewer Greg Klevgard wants to know how much rust there will be on Team Dunstone by the time you guys get the Brier underway.
Yeah, it's tough to know. I think we're really leaning on the fact that we know we've all been there before. We know we've all thrown at the broom, slid at the broom. Any shot that's called, we know we've made before. So we're really working on that just mentally to try to wrap our heads around that there's really not going to be much new in that world. But at the same time, I think everyone's going to deal with rust. I think every team in there is going to deal with a little bit of rust. And it's just a matter of the team that can figure it out faster, get back to sliding at the broom faster, and get control of that weight and that feel. Because if you haven't played truly for 8 or 9 months, you lose some of that feel of maybe the difference between a 1 or 2 feet. And you sometimes need that to make a shot. And so I think the team that can get through that fastest is going to be miles ahead once you get into middle of the week, putting yourself in a good position with a decent record, going into that championship round and hopefully the playoffs. We've been really lucky to have Adam Kingsbury with us. He's worked with Rachel Homan, went to the Olympics with Rachel Homan. He's a psychologist, so he's been able to work with us mentally through conversations like this on Zoom. And I think that's going to be a big difference maker for us to be able to kind of keep that level of play high once we do get the chance to compete and play in the best event in the curling world, the Brier, baby.
Ooh, exactly. All right, man. Well, thanks for coming on short notice today. Let's do it again. Stay safe, and I appreciate the time. We miss you.
Awesome. Miss you guys too, and congrats on the show again. You guys seem to be killing it, and it's cool to watch you guys grow over the last few years. It's really neat.
Same to you. But thank you, Kirk. I appreciate it. Absolutely. Kirk Myers from Team Dunstone joining us, and they are crushing it too over there with their sponsorships. And shoot, they're in the Brier for a second consecutive year. Our curling report is mentioned, brought to you by Verge Agriculture, helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Visit vergeag.com to learn more today. Just go follow them on Twitter and download their software, see what you think. I'm going to do a sports update here. You down?
I'm down.
David Riddick made 34 saves as the Calgary Flames blanked the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0 at Scotiabank Arena Monday night. Both teams announced just before puck drop they would be minus their number one goalies. Freddie Anderson sat for the Leafs with a lower body injury, and Jacob Markstrom didn't dress for the Flames because of an upper body injury. Alex Tuch tucked twice as the Vegas Golden Knights had a 3-goal. Thank you.
Got a round of applause from the back room.
3-goal spree in the second period. Marc-Andre Fleury stopped 34 shots, and the Golden Knights cruised to a 3-0 win over the Colorado Avalanche. I just got to say this about SportsCenter this morning. Tour de Rod is going, right? It's like day 189 or something.
Sir.
And they're showing the highlights of the Golden Knights in Colorado. And it's like 0-0 in the first period. They're showing all these unreal acrobatic saves by Fleury.
Right.
Let's jump to the third period now. And it's like 3-0 Vegas. So I'm like, what about all the goals? You cut out all the Golden Knights goals.
I know. How did we get to 3-0?
Yeah, how did we get here?
Where's the game winner?
But anyways, they didn't have enough time, apparently, on SportsCenter. But anyways, Marc-Andre Fleury made 34 saves as the Golden Knights, feeling hot, won again. 3-0 over the Colorado Avalanche. Andre Palat snapped a tie, 8:04 into the third period, and the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Carolina Hurricanes 4-2. Ville Heinola scored his second goal of the night, 53 seconds into overtime, and the Manitoba Moose edged the Laval Rocket 3-2 Monday in American Hockey League action. Mikhail Berdin stopped 39 of 41 shots to help Manitoba pick up its third straight victory after opening the season with back-to-back losses. Jeff Mallett also struck for the Moose. Corey Schuneman and Otto Leskinen supplied the offense for Laval. Vasily Demchenko made 22 saves for the Habs AHL team. And Albert Pujols' wife apparently disclosed that the Angels slugger will retire after the upcoming season, although she later amended her social media post to be a little less definitive. The 41-year-old Pujols reported to spring training with the Angels Monday. She originally said that he's done after this year. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. They can handle all your food and fun needs. Visit their website at ballersrecroom.com. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We'll delve right into viewer takeover next for the next two segments right up to the end of the show. We'll be right back. Oh, we'll be right back with Brian. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, Facebook Live, and listen live at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rob.
Welcome back, everybody. Viewer takeover coming up, plus our CFL report. And I see in YouTube, they're going nuts with comments, so we'll get to your comments there. But, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Angstadt is the chairman of Telemiracle 45 Committee. It's coming up this weekend. You all know that we've been promoting Telemiracle daily here for weeks, and Brian joins us today on video chat. Brian, how you doing? Welcome to the RP Show.
I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
You know, I'm a Saskatchewan kid, as I'm assuming you are too. I love Telemiracle. It's been a part of my life for almost every one of my 48 years. But COVID's changed things a little bit, obviously. So tell me about Telemiracle 40. Yeah, tell me about Telemiracle 45 and how it might be a little different this time around.
Yeah, it's definitely been an interesting year with everything that's happened. Everything kind of got turned upside down last March, so we had to adapt. So we actually have a very exciting a hybrid show for you this year. It's going to be a lot of live. There's going to be some live aspects, but there's going to be a lot of pre-recorded aspects. So we kind of have a little mix of both. We have a lot of little tricks and a lot of little surprises up our sleeves. So people are going to have to tune in and watch. It's going to be a show that's going to be different compared to any other show.
Well, with our Telemiracle draw and our 50-50, you're drawing Friday, announcing it Saturday just prior to the start of Telemiracle. Of course, this runs on CTV across the province. If you're outside Saskatchewan, you won't be able to see it. But what are the hours, Brian, specifically?
Yeah, so the countdown show will actually start at 6:30 on Saturday and run until 8 o'clock. And then the main broadcast itself will start at 9 p.m. on Saturday and end at 5 p.m. on Sunday, so the full 20 hours.
All right. So, for those that don't know across this land that watch, it is a telethon on CTV that runs pretty much, as he said, we feel like all weekend long. I guess it's not entirely all weekend long. But can you explain to the people that maybe haven't donated yet where these funds go to with the Kinsman Foundation? Again, I've known people that have been benefiting from this for years, but not everybody has. What does Kinsman Foundation do?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, all the money raised stays in the province of Saskatchewan, which is really nice. And all the money raised goes towards either medical travel or medical equipment for the people that are in the need for that equipment or that travel. So I sit on the foundation board this year as well, and we get stories every day and get people funding. I ask for funding every day. And from anything from a scooter to a van conversion to a wheelchair, or just to the regular appointments in either from rural areas into the city or into Edmonton for some more specialized appointments.
Well, there you go. Bingo. For people that are wondering, how are people surviving? This is how. Thanks to Kinsman. So what's your pitch to folks that maybe can't tune in this weekend but can purchase on the 50-50? Obviously, this has gone very well. What's your pitch to them?
Yeah, we have a couple different options. If you want to just donate regular to the show, you can do that now. You can go to telemiracle.com. And something that's a little different this year, you can actually watch the broadcast itself on telemiracle.com. So anybody all over the world, if they wanted to watch the broadcast, they can do it right on our website directly. But if you want something a little fun, something that's a little new this year, we've actually launched the first ever 50-50. So you can go to telemiracle5050.ca. And currently that 50-50 pot is at just over $228,000. And we expect that pot to get a lot higher before Friday.
All right, and you can purchase the tickets at telemiracle5050.ca. Brian, this has been outstanding. Congratulations on the early success. I know you're going to smash it this weekend, and thanks for working with us. We appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Brian Angstadt, he is the chairperson of the Telemiracle 45 committee. So to some of the regular business that we do, the CFL report is, it's small. It's dwindling a little bit. We've been through the chutzpah of free agency. And now we're into the mundaneness, if that's a word, the monotony of the CFL offseason. Here it is from Monday. The Toronto Argonauts have signed American defensive lineman Coney Ely and American offensive lineman Blake Kemper. Ely was a second-round pick of the Carolina Panthers, 60th overall back in 2014. He had 3 sacks in Super Bowl 50 in 2016, which tied a Super Bowl record. And Coney Ely played 15 games for the New York Jets in 2017, also had stints with the XFL's Houston Roughnecks in 2020, and went to camp with the Chargers in 2019. That is it. A couple of players signed by the Toronto Argonauts. So I see that a lot of people want to talk about the CFL stuff here. You tell me, because it's a bit of blur through the whole show. The Quick Six show topics, we just dabbled in dupes, right? Not a lot of talk, as much as I would have liked, about Alan Miller, the general manager of the Moose Jaw Warriors, resigning just ahead of the WHL's return to play and going to Hockey Canada. But we spoke with the Warriors this morning, and they said Al's staying on for at least the next 2 months. So for the fans of junior hockey and the Moose Jaw Warriors, no panic there, but you tell me. Brian Warishin out in Vancouver, he hosts the BC Lions Den podcast, says, during a recent season ticket holder town hall, Lions president Rick Lawlisher said the league may start the year with no fans in the stands, but wasn't sure if they could do a full season like that. It all hinges on local health officials giving them a green light, but he sounded optimistic and said something would be going out to season ticket holders this week. Well, Brian, I admire your optimism. And Rick Lawlisher's too. However, let's not forget the Dave Naylor column from Friday morning. If the CFL is going to use TSN as its unofficial public relations arm, and it's fine if they do, then you'd better be very wary of what's going out on their website. And that's Dave Naylor saying, with the headline, CFL won't play without fans in 2021. And what you're telling me is 180 degrees opposite of that, coming from the president of the BC Lions. So as I said in the show open, if you missed it, and I've written it in my columns over the weekend, they can't seem to all get on the same page, and that will be inevitably the downfall of the Canadian Football League.
That's right. You got to get on the same page. And I think when it comes to fans, the NFL let each team decide. But the NFL said, we're playing.
Yeah.
If you can't get fans in your state and your stadium and your community, great. But you're going to play, right? And you can't have teams, especially in the CFL, you can't have teams opt out. There's only 9 of them. You can't go down to 8, 7, 6, 5. You can't play like that. So if they can all agree to play, then I think each community, each province will have the ability to play with fans or with no fans. But they have to be on the same page.
So we're going to pause and come back. We can pause now, right? Yeah, with viewer takeover, with all of your topics. Join the discussion. It's hour 2 that Brian Munns will be with us, longtime Winnipeg Jets and Manitoba Moose broadcaster, and the interview you've all been waiting for, Mike Babcock, coming up as well. We'll be right back. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKF IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Peterson.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to turn this over as much as we can to the viewers. That's why we call it Viewer Takeover. Again, next hour, Brian Munns of Winnipeg and Mike Babcock joining us on the RP Show. Jason in Red Deer regarding the CFL pickle that they're in says, sounds easy, doesn't it? How with no money? The CFL is very much fan-driven. It is the middle of February, and we're talking about the Canadian Football League. You're welcome, CFL.
That's a good thing.
But I was saying earlier on with the CFL, I'm starting to think they really have no choice but to mothball the league. And Murray Yaganiski, writing us on Twitter, he says they can't go 2 years without playing games. That would kill the league. Yeah, this is the stuff. I've just been sitting back and examining this over the last 24, 48, 72 hours. And this is what it reminds me of. It's, I'm sorry. My brothers might want to turn it off because I'm going to talk about my mom when she passed away from cancer. I've told this story before, but it was a long time ago, so I'm going to tell it again. I was sitting out front of her place feeling sorry for myself that my mom was dying, and her very best friend said to me, "It's here. It's here. She's dying. It's here." She was like, wake up. Get out of your own self and feeling sorry for yourself because the end is here for your mom. Be there for her. So I'm sitting here going, I think the end of the CFL is here. So you can sit and say, but they need to play. They need to do this. They can't. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy from Calgary, Jeff, the Stamps fan, said, Rod, you've been optimistic. Now you're not. I've really been looking at it. It costs a lot for them to play. They've got big staffs. They're paying salaries. Look at the curling. 4 people per team. A fifth. An extra player and a coach. That's it. And they only get paid if they win. Junior hockey, not being paid. And somebody's underwriting the cost for that. I wanted to mention, too, by the way, it's going to cost millions to play for the WHL in this hub center in Regina, not to mention the other, like the BC division. They still got to do testing. Somebody's paying for that. I don't know who, but I can tell you the Swift Current Broncos don't have millions. They don't. Nor do the Moose Jaw Warriors or PA Raiders. So I love the romantic nature of maybe the CFL can overcome this, and I'm sitting there going, I think the end is here.
But at the same time, we sit here and think maybe the CFL can overcome this.
I did. I'm not there anymore.
But that's our optimism and our hope. But the realism says probably not. Probably not going to happen. It's tough. It's so tough because we want the league back. And make no mistake about it. The league coming back and playing is good for business. Like, good for my business. Good for our business.
Yeah, we want it to.
It's good for business. Ragging on the CFL and having them not come back is not good for business.
No.
It's just, but we can't do anything other than be real and be ourselves and authentic. And hey, if one day we're excited, then that's true. Then that's as real as it gets. We are excited. But if the next day we're realistic and think it's not coming back, that's also very authentic.
Carlos in Indianapolis says we were having a similar conversation about the CFL last May, almost this exact same one. Right. It was will they play or won't they play? And they didn't play. Take your sentence a little further, Carlos. Yeah, we were having this talk a year ago, and what happened? And we had the local team telling us they were going to be out of money by the end of September last year. How they're still even turning their lights on, I have no idea. Chris Bird says for the CFL from Toronto, for the CFL to come back and play with no fans will require small player salaries and 3 coaches tops. Well, you laugh. He's right, but I don't think they want to do that.
No.
And you can't change the salaries. There's a collective bargaining agreement in place right now.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, by the way, is that the CFL as we know it, I think the end is here. When you say, oh, they can overcome it, oh, they can do this, I bring it back to my mom's analogy, unfortunately. Oh, we've got this wonder drug. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. Maybe it'll happen. There comes a day where you go, none of it's working. It's over. And I'm starting to think that's where we are. I would love for one of them to step up and prove me wrong. I haven't seen it for months. Craig Campbell in downtown Toronto says if they adjust the business model of the CFL, they need to adjust the salary structure accordingly with a higher standard wage for the players. All is one. 9 teams, league, and players association to determine future. Will cost more for being a fan. But we've been talking about that. Central ownership. They don't want to do that. They can't all agree on where they need to go or how they're going to get there. And that's what's going to lead to their downfall. Anyways, we'll continue this into hour 2. David in Winnipeg says, play in 2021 or be gone. There's no way I'm wasting another dollar on a league that has big buck owners who want everything free. No marketing in 30 years that's any good. If this is your online therapy session, then
so be it.
That's what it is. Jeff in Winnipeg, we've been waiting months for the CFL to give us even a line of a plan. We're just going to have to carry this over.
Oh, yeah.
Sean at Game Plus, you hang on. We'll get to yours as well, all right? Mike Babcock next hour, and Brian Munns. It's the RP Show on a Tuesday. Canada's daytime sports talk show continues after this.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends.
I can't believe the backlash that there's been with the Babcock being hired by the U of S Huskies.
How about that?
He's from here. He went to school there. He's already coached university hockey. I was saying it's a GPAC, Canada West. What are they calling it now? What surprised me was the people in hockey that thought he was done.
He's evolved and he's grown as a man and as a coach, and I think that's a good thing.
This is the Rod Peterson Show.
It is, and welcome everybody. Ringing the bell just because it's the start of the second hour and we're calling it the second half kickoff.
Yeah.
You named it that. So we're going to jump right into the topics here. In a second, we're going to get into the comments from our viewers. They're going so fast. Our viewer Rob Williamson just wrote in. He said, I came for the Babcock interview and stayed for Dupes and Rod. Well, that's good. Mike Babcock coming up in about 40 minutes' time, we're told. I just got a text from the St. Louis Blues. He said, hey, Rod, I changed to TELUS Optic TV from Shaw, and here you are. Good for you. Keep it real. Thank you, sir. He also was my Pee Wee hockey coach. So thanks for watching.
Wow.
And before we get to the quick six show topics and jump back in, are you guys ready to roll with that? All right, 47-year season ticket holder of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Ellie Cooling of Kenora, passing away this week. 92 years of age, guys. There you go. 47-year season ticket holder. She's been acknowledged by the Rough Riders for her love with the team. Rider Nation lost a good one. Her son Glenn Rick sending us the photo. We're recognizing Ellie and our condolences. But thanks for sending.
Yeah.
So, anyways, here's the quick 6 show topics. Let her rip, please, Director Jordan. Oh, there we go. He's got an octopus in there with his 8 hands going. These were my leftovers from Monday night in the National Hockey League's games, okay? Where do we start? So the Flames blanked the Leafs 3-0 in Toronto. Who saw that coming? It was the first shutout for the Flames since they were the Atlanta Flames in Toronto. That's a hell of a story.
It is.
So I just put on Twitter, just for spits and giggles, that the Leafs were undermanned. I'm making excuses for the Leafs. How about that? You never thought I would do that.
No.
But as I pointed out an hour ago, who didn't play for the Leafs? Wayne Simmons and Joe Thornton. And what do they have in common? They weren't there last year. And Muzzin didn't play, and who? Zach Hyman.
Yeah.
So there's some grit and sandpaper and depth that the Leafs didn't have in the game last night. But Simmons and Thornton specifically weren't there last year, and now they're the number 1 team in the NHL, and they lose without him last night. I don't think it's a coincidence. Point 2, I am not touching the Panarin story. Why would we? That's a Russian thing. That's their deal. You guys go sort it out over there. Coach Q for Coach of the Year? When are we going to start the talk of Joel Quenneville for Coach of the Year in the National Hockey League? He's got his Florida Panthers kicking the crap out of everybody. Point 4, Trevor Zegras debuted for the Anaheim Ducks last night. Say it with me. Here was his stat line. 0, 0, 0. But he was a +1. Zegras will be just fine. He's been tearing up the AHL. I'm just pointing out. That was his stat line last night, and our 5th leftover was that Mike Babcock will be joining us later on in the program today. Point 2 of the quick 6 is that we're not touching the Panarin story. I'm saying it again. Point 3, somewhat of a defense of the CFL, and that's where all the comments veered off to. You wouldn't normally be talking about the CFL in February anyways. You darn sure shouldn't be talking about the CFL in February when they haven't played for a year and might not play this year either. But for whatever reason, that's what's got everybody hot and bothered here today. And in defense of the CFL, it's how could they really play? They're not like a junior league or curlers that go into a bubble that they're not being paid. In the case of the curlers, only the winners get paid, which is fine. They're not the NFL, NHL, NBA that can pay for 3 tests a day, which some of these leagues are doing. Nobody's injecting money into the CFL like has for other leagues, because I think the WHL is getting some money from somewhere to pull off the Hub Center and play in Central Alberta. Somebody told me with the Rebels, it's $10,000 a player to house them in the rink and feed them and keep them busy and all that.
Wow.
That wouldn't shock me. I'm surprised it's not more. So right there, there's $200,000 at least. Okay? So CFL, and they haven't been able to pivot. And even if they did try to play without any fans, it could be a major risk, money-losing proposition. So really, that all I think the CFL will do is mothball. And a year ago, we didn't even know what that meant. And now it's shutting down, turning out the lights, boarding up the doors, sending everybody home. And when we're back, when everybody's got a needle in their arm, and we're ready to fill the stadium again, you can come back. Stop the draft, stop the scouting, stop the signing, stop the... Go. We'll see you when we see you, as Gary Echeverry would say. Is there any other option?
Yeah, I don't know. You know,
I don't see one.
No, it becomes really tough to think that there's another option. It really does.
We just got a note. So does Game Plus want us to break quick? Or you tell me when I got to go. Oh, he is. Okay, so my real quick other points is 4, Scotty's talk with the Calgary bubble going on. There's 3 wild card teams there. So the question, I'm laying in bed last night going, what happens if a wild card team wins?
Yeah.
What's Curling Canada going to put on their banner? Team wild card. You know, like it's not Ontario. It's not BC. And that's what they would put on the banner, as we found out from Kirk Myers, which is a little chintzy, but at least they're there.
At least they're there.
Yeah.
They'll take it.
0.5, okay, Blue Jays. We were going to talk Blue Jays here today, but first base coach Tim Leeper couldn't join us today, so he had to reschedule, so he's going to do that tomorrow. And 0.6, the Moose Jaw Warriors lost their general manager yesterday, Alan Miller. He's going to work for Hockey Canada on their personnel side. Good friend of ours, Al Miller. Second most wins in the division in the last 10 years, the Moose Jaw Warriors under Alan Miller. Would you have known that?
I know. Shocking, but they've done really well.
I wouldn't have known it if I hadn't looked it up a while back from my dubnetwork.ca column. Anyways, he's going to stay with the Warriors for the next 2 months while they transition, which will include the Hub Center play here in the Sweatpants capital. Okay, Mike Babcock coming up later on in about 20 minutes time from now. Let's go to our good friend Brian Munns, as John Lynch calls him, Biggie Munns, longtime Winnipeg Jets broadcaster and Manitoba Moose. How you doing, Munnsy?
Great, Roddy. How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good. We're doing really good, actually. Listen, we got a lot of viewers in Manitoba and Winnipeg, as you know, and I just want to talk to you about the Winnipeg Jets. I'm declaring them a winner in the PLD trade. That's the last time you and I talked, was the day of the trade. Right. And with him scoring the overtime winner last night, are you declaring the Winnipeg Jets winners of the Line A trade?
Well, I watched you guys yesterday, and I think Darren was right that you can't make an analysis on a trade right now, but there's no question that the city of Winnipeg was pretty excited in the finale of that 4-game road trip in Vancouver when he was able to get a couple of goals, including the overtime winner. And it's been an interesting watch from kind of the outside looking in, obviously, because there's no media around the team right now due to all the COVID protocol. And he had to do his quarantine for a couple of weeks, come back, plays a couple games, then he gets hurt. So it necessarily hasn't been a smooth transition for Pierre-Luc. But like you, I thought he looked really good and is drawing a lot of excitement around the city of Winnipeg here right now that he's healthy and looking forward to the Montreal game here on Thursday night.
Well, here we go, Munnsy. From our Manitoba viewers, James Henderson in Manitoba. Best guest ever, Munnsy. From Corey DeTavio in Winnipeg. Hey, Munnsy. From Jeff Kibilis. Munnsy. So, yeah, Munnsy, you are a Saskatchewan guy. Let's not let the world forget. But you've been in Winnipeg for so many years. Are you a Winnipegger now? Or are you still a Sasky?
Oh, you're creating a controversy here, are you? Now all of a sudden you're not going to have time for Babcock if we get into this long show. But no, I'm riding the border right now for both provinces. I'm proud of both.
I love it. Well, we've done our best to melt the ice of that border and make this Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and hopefully.
I know. I've seen you're wearing Bomber stuff.
Who would have ever thought there'd be a day? Yeah. So, Munnsy, as the NHL guy that you are, how do you feel about people that say the Scotia North Division is a weak division? Because I think there are 6 good teams, above average teams. That's what I think. A lot of people around the NHL saying I'm all wet. What do you say to that?
Well, I say if you watch the games each and every night, I think like we both have, and talking to a number of people in the States here over the last 10 days, kind of since everything changed for me, they can't get enough of this Canadian division right now. And it's been intriguing because when these teams are not aligned in their usual divisions, like Winnipeg's the only team in what we've come to know as the Central Division. So you're always watching Minnesota, Dallas, St. Louis, Colorado, the teams like that now you hardly watch their games. Like I'll watch because I've got some friends on the other side and there's still a little bit of interest. But, you mentioned the Montreal or the Toronto-Calgary game last night. Like I couldn't get away from it because going in, I think we all thought, okay, how bad is this going to be? Because the Flames have had such a tough start to the season. And David Riddick was fantastic last night and is able to get them that 3-0 win. So I think right now in Canada, the drama and the curiosity of what each game is going to bring makes it must watch. And that includes the Ottawa Senators right now. I know they've had a really tough start to the year with how young they are. But as they've shown on a few nights here, they've been able to upset the apple cart. And that's what makes you wake up every morning and kind of see what the standings look like here north of the border.
And the other thing that I pride ourselves here on Sorry for saying, but being the anti-TSN, we're going to actually talk about the American Hockey League here, not NBA games that don't involve a Canadian team. Like, whatever. I thought we were in Canada. So the Moose have pulled together some wins here, Munzie. And although they started winless, but it was no small feat to get onto the ice for the American Hockey League, but now they are. And Ville Heinola scored last night for the Moose. So how good a team are they? And how close are they to the Jets in terms of players going back and forth, do you think?
Well, just based on the way this year has been because of COVID, it's been very transparent between the two organizations. And, you know, we saw it in Calgary this year where the Flames decided to move the Stockton Heat north of the border. Toronto's obviously had their club close. I know Montreal's got the Laval team playing out of Bell Center right now. So the general managers and the organizations have loved the idea because they can not only watch the games, but they can watch the players practice a little bit more too. So it's been a home run for everybody. Like, we've seen that in Winnipeg here for the last number of years since the Moose came out of St. John's, and it's just been easier for Kevin Cheveldayoff and Craig Heisinger to get players back and forth. And I think it's been nice for the players too, because as much as you think that the management and the coaches for your NHL club are watching, sometimes it's just not that easy for them to do. Now, literally, they just drive down the street and you're able to watch the game, or you stick around after your NHL duties and see what's going on with your AHL clubs. So I think it's been good for all the organizations here that they've been able to have their younger players. And, you know, you mentioned Ville Heinola, Cole Perfetti, of course, got national stardom at the World Junior Hockey Championships. He's playing with the team, and they've been able to bounce some other players up and down here between the taxi squad and the AHL club too. So it's been intriguing to watch the transactions for sure each and every day at 5 o'clock.
Munzie, you're such a beauty, and you are one of the few media guys in the SJHL Hall of Fame. You know that, but I'm pointing that out for all our viewers. Lots of people writing in here. Northeast legend. They're saying William May. They're talking Northeastern Saskatchewan. Munzie here from CJVR. So let's tie that all in together with Mike Babcock. Yep. And as you know, he's coming on the show later today. You saw our buddy Lawless last night on the Knights broadcast saying that bullying's a little harsh, a stretch on Babs, and that this U of S hire is a reset for Babs. What did you think when you heard the news? How do you think it'll unfold? And the big question you get is, will he be back in the NHL one day? Answer all those.
So shocked, I think, like everybody, because the early reports even that I had heard, and I watched you guys talking yesterday about all the university players that have gone to the NHL or coaches. And I think of three more here in Winnipeg. Barry Trotz was one. Stu Grimson, Regina Pat alumni, and Mike Ridley were all parts of the Bisons at one point, and they moved on to fantastic NHL careers. You throw Joel Ward into the situation too from out east. So, you know what? I think university hockey in Canada doesn't get the praise that it does like in the United States. And you and I have had the conversation numerous times over the last 2 decades in our friendship. Like, it just doesn't get the recognition that it deserves because it just doesn't. And for whatever reason that is. Overall, though, I think Mike's going to do really good with Saskatoon. It gives him a chance to come home. It gives him a chance to be a coach again. And let's not forget that from a university standpoint, and I saw an interview last night that Dave Hardy did, and Dave was actually the head coach of the Saskatoon Hilltops back in '96 when I was doing their games at CJVR Radio. So we'll throw that little plug in for the people that are watching in northern Saskatchewan right now. You know, it's great for the organization because he's getting his NHL money, so it doesn't cost them anything, but it also allows Mike to kind of bring a younger coach or whoever it may be into the fold and kind of get his thoughts transferred down the line. And then whenever Mike moves on to the NHL or even into retirement, that, the next guy's ready to go. But I know there was a lot of curiosity because I talked to a lot of junior coaches across the country that had thrown their resume in, and that's a job that everybody wants, obviously, with how good the Husky tradition has been.
That's the thing. They don't really understand, and we only got a couple minutes here left, Munzie. I won't keep you too long, but we were going through the names. Thanks for the Mike Ridley, Stu Grimson comparison. Corey Cross's name came up from one of our viewers in Florida. Todd Ellick, if you would remember, from the U of R Cougars, went to play with the LA Kings. There are an absolute ton. And maybe coming out of the pandemic, welcome to the digital world, Munzie, where 30,000 people tuned into the NWHL games on Twitch, or 30,000 watching the fan-controlled football league. Like, people will watch those sports if you put them on. They just need the opportunity. But was Babs unfairly maligned in your mind? Did you guys have a Saskatchewan connection where you were always friends through his NHL years? Like, what's your personal relationship with Babs?
Yeah, because of my time in Melfort and PA, like I look back and that was 9 years, and I was always around Lake Country, and he spent his summers up around Waskesiu. His place was at Christopher Emma Lake, so we got a lot of mutual friends, and we'd see each other, and it was always funny whether he was coaching in Detroit or Toronto. Our talks would always somewhat transfer back up to Lake Country in the north. So yeah, it's good to see him get an opportunity to get back in the game, and I think when you look at the scenario, and I'm excited to see what he has to say on your show too, but coaches want to coach, broadcasters want to do games, players want to play. That's why we all love what we do right now, whatever level it's at. If it can't be the NHL, the best league in the world, then you look at other opportunities that present itself. And I think that's why, we all love what we're doing so much. And obviously Mike has decided to do that here for the foreseeable future. So it's a win for the Babcock family, and it's a win for the Saskatchewan Huskies for sure.
Oh, yeah, and I can tell you the U of S is tremendously excited, as you know, to have him. Munzie, thanks for the quick visit. We covered a lot. Stay in touch, my friend, and enjoy the Babcock interview.
You got it, Roddy. Take care. See you, Darren.
Munzie joining us from Winnipeg. Dupes has jumped out of the building. I'm not sure where he went. I don't know where Moose went. Maybe to fill up our coffees. But we have a sports update coming up, Scotty's update, and, of course, Mike Babcock joining us in about 13 minutes' time. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say, and I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Peterson Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for a sports update. The Edmonton Oilers will try to stretch their win streak to 4 games tonight when they face the Canucks in Vancouver. Edmonton's heating up with 8 wins in their last 10, while Vancouver's going into the opposite direction with just 2 victories in their last 10. The Raptors are riding a 4-game win streak as they get set to host the Philadelphia 76ers tonight in a rematch. Toronto beat the Sixers Sunday to climb over 500 for the first time this year. Tonight they're in Tampa, Florida. It's the start of a back-to-back set for the Raptors, who are in Miami tomorrow. Seattle Mariners general manager Jerry Dipoto and manager Scott Survey are doing damage control with players who were directly mentioned or referenced by former team CEO Kevin Mather in an online video that led to his resignation. Former within the last 24 hours, that is, right, Dupes? The message over the past few days to those affected has been, you have every right to be upset. If you haven't heard, the video posted over the weekend showed Mather expressing his views of the club's organizational strategy and making controversial remarks about players during a recent online event. He took insensitive shots at a former All-Star from Japan and a top prospect from the Dominican Republic for their English skills. He also admitted the team may be manipulating service time for some of its young players. Mather apologized Sunday and then abruptly resigned the next day, but not before casting a pall over the organization as it began full squad workouts in Arizona. I looked at that. First thing I thought was, welcome to how some team executives think.
Right.
Doesn't surprise me at all. They're not all that way, but you want to know why the Seattle Mariners have been garbage for decades? Because of guys like this, not valuing their employees. Where does culture start, Darren?
At the top.
Thank you. Doesn't that say a lot about the Seattle Mariners right there?
Yeah.
You guys, so you made him quit. You didn't know what he was all about when he was in your employ?
Of course he did.
Give me a break. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit today, dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha, RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. As John Lynch would say, where do we go from here, caller? And with Babs coming up later, maybe let's get it rolling with the comments.
Sure.
On both YouTube, Facebook, and the Prairie Mobile text line. If you don't mind, we did cover the CFL extensively earlier, so I'll just read this from Bob watching in Grand Prairie, Alberta. I still have faith in this CFL league I have followed all my life and refuse to buy into any assumptions about what's going to happen. We don't know what goes on in the boardrooms, and until Randy or the owners tell us different, I say they'll be on the field come summer. See you at kickoff. It's all choice of how you want to look at things. I don't think you know any more or less sitting in Grand Prairie than I do sitting here in the sweatpants capital. Who knows? But from what I hear with the vaccine rollout, and that's one thing. Convincing people to buy tickets and come back into the stadium is a whole other task. Mm-hmm. That comes at the end of the vaccinations getting into everybody's arms across this country when they want them. So it's a gigantic mountain actually, that they're looking at climbing. Brady in Saskatoon says, hey, Rod, if Randy can't get the CFL on the field this season, he deserves to be fired. At this point, Randy should be fighting for his job and fans' respect. And I don't think he has that right now. Habs try to bounce back from a horrific past bit of games tonight. And he says the Leafs got shut out last night. Like we didn't know. But yes, big game for Montreal tonight against the Ottawa Senators. I actually had that at the top of my sports update, and for whatever reason, I cut it off. Thank you, Brady, for reminding me. The suddenly struggling Montreal Canadiens are in the nation's capital tonight. looking for redemption. The Sens beat Montreal 3-2 on overtime on Sunday. Montreal sits fourth in the North. How did that happen?
I know.
Winnipeg shooting up there. The Oilers are shooting up there. Just in this 56-game season, it's like playoffs. Everything gets magnified. A 2-game slide feels like a 6-game slide.
Does it ever?
And you can't make these little mistakes in games.
I know. Like, it really does. Like, I even sitting there, watching the game last night, I'm like, 3-0 loss for the Leafs. And I'm like, that's kind of big because they might fall out of first place and change the whole complexion of this North Division. Like, we look at it, everything is so magnified in such a short season.
The Capital Auto Mall Universal Collision Center poll question today. I don't think I've mentioned it yet. I'm just calling it up on Twitter. Oh, yeah. Where will the Blue Jays finish in the American League East? Can I tell you something about last year's poll going into the shortened season for the majors? Our viewers got it right. They nailed it. We had Greg Zahn on here, 16-year major leaguer, World Series champion, and he said the Blue Jays would finish tied for last. It would be tied for fourth in the American League East. You people said they would finish third, and they did.
Wow. Not crazy.
Think about that in a wild card spot.
In the extra wild card spot, they get in, and that's a great place to be. But we got sharp viewers. What can I say?
So what are they saying? So on Facebook, they're saying second. That's
48%.
leading 48%. And on Twitter, the leader is second place with 51% on the vote. And to be honest, I was all geeked up getting ready for the show this morning, reading all the Blue Jays coverage, watching the big interview with Bo Bichette yesterday in Dunedin, where he expects big, like he's expecting the World Series championship. You got to love that attitude from that kid.
Oh, absolutely.
And because we were supposed to be having a longtime first base coach, Tim Liepert, on the show today, 5 seasons from 2014 to 2018, and then Tim let us know that he had a family emergency, and that's why Kirk Myers joined us last hour. So I guess we'll be talking Blue Jays tomorrow. But Blue Jays was on my mind, and that's why we did the poll question. Where do you think they'll finish? And I don't know as much about the Yankees or the Red Sox as the Blue Jays right now, but I do know the Blue Jays are playing the Yankees on Sunday. Did you know that?
That's incredible. It wasn't on my radar at all.
No.
I'm like, they're playing Sunday?
Yeah.
Like, this is happening fast and wildly exciting.
See, this is interesting. Jeff in Winnipeg says, second place for the Blue Jays, and I'm a Red Sox fan.
Amazing what 1 year of the playoffs can do. You get
for
in,
confidence.
You get in, and all of a sudden the expectations go through the roof. It was funny when you said, this playoff, it won't be a book, it'll be a pamphlet, the playoff run, right?
Yeah.
And even that, as disappointing as it was to be in and out so fast, it's just raised expectations considerably.
But expectations, I think, are good. But I was amazed watching SportsCenter this morning when they said that Bo Bichette's only played 75 games in the majors. I think it's because Shapiro and Atkins have been teasing us with these guys for years when they were young prospects. They've been around the team for, 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
At least 3, 4. And Bichette's only played 75 games. But now's the year to make a major step for all 3 of those. Are we calling them the triplets?
Sure.
Like Aikman, Irvin, and Emmitt Smith?
We could.
Might as well. But Vladdy didn't bother to show up in the playoffs last year. That's a problem.
But he's lean and mean, ready to go.
Lost a lot of weight. Les Peach is watching. We're getting into viewer takeover real early here. He says if the Jays can get decent starting pitching, they will finish second. The bullpen is solid, and they will score a ton of runs. Wouldn't that be nice? They spent a lot of money in free agency. They were one of the most active teams in the majors. Jeff Kibilis in Winnipeg says the way contracts are in Major League Baseball, time to take advantage of it with this young roster before they want more money. That's the wonderful thing about digital media. You pointed this out to me a while back. That thing on Facebook where it says people that like your page also like, remember that?
Yeah.
The Toronto Blue Jays, the Canadian Football League, TSN, because we view ourselves as a Western Canadian show, and we are. Broadcasting from the sweatpants capital out here, the Bermuda Triangle of the NHL. But what that tells me is how big the Blue Jays are in Western Canada. The Raptors just aren't. And I'm not totally sure why. Maybe they just don't have the years behind them.
Right.
What's it for the Blue Jays? 1977, 44 years.
Yeah.
Whereas the Raptors have only been around for 25. We got the championships in 92 and 93. But to sit and talk Blue Jays, and this is what should scare the bejeebles out of the CFL and junior hockey and any other league that's not NFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, is that those leagues are playing. And we can sit and talk about the Blue Jays and get comments from viewers like we are today.
Yeah. They all know what's going on.
Yeah, they know what's going on.
So it's easy to have a conversation. You can't have a conversation with me about something I don't know about. I'm just going to sit there and stare at you and be like, oh, that's good.
It happens
Very
often.
interesting, right? And there's no dialogue back and forth, so there's no interest. But when you know what's going on, it's easy to have that conversation, and we do it every day.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is I want to see the CFL play, but if they don't, Canadians' attention will just be tugged over to Major League Baseball. And maybe you're not a Blue Jays fan living in Canada, and let's not forget a third of our audience is in America. They're not even all Blue Jays fans. But what do they tell us? We like the fact you talk about the Blue Jays. We like the fact you talk about the Raptors because they're not getting it down there. Mm-hmm. They like the hockey coverage. They like the CFL coverage. Nelson Hackowicz says more people follow the Blue Jays on the Score app than follow the Riders. Well, when the Blue Jays call themselves Canada's team, I kind of acknowledge it as, well, they are. The Riders slogan is, who came up with that? Oh, yeah, me. That was just a shtick. That was a marketing shtick.
Right.
And it worked.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays are legitimately Canada's team. Jason in Red Deer says, it's the aging population in Western Canada, Rod. Older people like baseball. But you hang on, Jason, because I've said that forever. Can you please tell me, Jason, how old you are, by the way? Because you older folks that are what? You people that are older? Thank you. You will notice that as you get older, you gravitate to certain things. We always thought that, that older population that listens to that radio station, once they die, the station will die with them. Doesn't happen that way. You get older and you start to be interested in different things. So there will always be a regurgitating older population.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Maybe the older you get, you start to like curling more and the slower pace of baseball. Because when you're younger, it's zing, zing, zing. Kids are running around. You got a job. You got this. You got that. When you're older, you sit in a lazy boy and watch TV all day. Serious.
Not wrong.
So there, again, why are funeral homes the deadest place in town? No, that's not it. Everybody's dying to get in there. That's what it is. And the cemeteries. Those guys are the richest companies around. So when you say the baseball fans are aging, I'm just saying there are a lot of younger baseball fans, particularly these guys here, are nuts about it. But I think the older they get, the more that you get into it.
Yeah, I agree.
And let's also not forget with the Toronto Blue Jays that they were crappy for 20 years. So a lot of people did check out in Canada. They did. So they did lose a generation of fans, but now they're back and they're hot. And yeah, Joey Bats is long gone, but people still have the gear, right? They're still watching.
Still wear it. Still watch. Yeah, absolutely.
Anyways, let's take a timeout. You guys cool with that? Just a couple quick comments. Jeff Camillus in Winnipeg. It's true. Older I get, the more I get grumpy I get with people's driving. Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's a whole other topic for another time. But I'm just saying, I believe baseball is just fine. Not only in Western Canada, but across this country. They're far better shape in Western Canada than the Raptors are. We're Raptors fans when they're winning. But with the Blue Jays, we follow win or lose. Big difference.
Right.
We'll be right back. You are watching the RP Show across North America on Game Plus TV Network, across all 10 provinces and 31 states, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150, Explorer, or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar buying group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives, focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Peterson Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait. Do it right now. Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RP Show. Rod here and Moose DuPont there. As promised, we're going to Colorado, which is interesting, to chat with the newest head coach of the University of Saskatchewan men's hockey team, Mr. Mike Babcock, a man who needs no other introduction other than that. There he is. Good morning, Babs. How you doing?
Good, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, very well, thank you. Nice bunny hug, by the way, Mike. And I appreciate, I appreciate the time on the program today. I got to say this: quite a week, huh? Quite a week. How's it been for you?
Well, it's been good. I mean, obviously, it's not been a week for me. When Dave reached out, Dave and Peter, when they reached out, it was more around Christmas time. My whole family was home, and it was the first thing that come our way that my wife didn't kind of give me the Heisman for. She was like, holy mackerel. And, we got a ton of family there. We went back every single year. We had a place at Meeting Lake, a trailer and a deck when we first started. When we got to the Income Tax League, we got a place at Emma Lake. And took our kids home each summer because we thought it was important to be around family. I still got 2 sisters there. My wife's got 2 brothers, 2 sisters in the area. And probably most importantly, they're where mom and dad. They're 90 and 87 in great health. They got a 65-year love affair going on. We figured we could join in on all that. And plus, get back to coaching college, which I absolutely loved when I did it at Red Deer and did it at the U of L.
You know, it's funny because my next question was, why are you doing this? And you kind of just explained that. But if I can back up a little bit, you don't still have that cabin at Emma Lake, correct?
No, but my poor buddy, that the deal we made, I sold it to a good friend of mine, and he knows when I'm there, it's like possession's 9/10 of the law, so a guy could slide in there in a hurry, you know. So, the reality is my buddy's a chicken farmer, works 24 hours a day. He's never there anyway, so a guy might slide in and use that. But we used it till a couple of years ago. My kids got older. Their life was more in the Michigan and the East area, and so we didn't come back as much, so we sold it to a good friend so we could still use it.
Well, the reason I asked, Babs, is because Dave Lederhaus took me on a boat tour there last summer, and he's like, "That's where Babs used to live." And I thought, well, he's on the tour of the Stars homes here, and I'm sure you probably got tired of people floating their boats in front of your cabin. Am I right?
Well, you know what? My wife did more than me. I like to have a lot of fun and enjoy people, and the people of Saskatchewan are great. That's why, like I said to you, we went home. That's why we're coming home again. And we enjoyed our time there, to say the least. I still have a farm in Saskatchewan there near Vanscoy. And like I said, we got family there. We're excited. My older sister, who doesn't live there, just texted me the other day and said she might move back for the winter just to watch dog hockey.
Well, hey, there's a rush on season tickets from what I understand. And by the way, you're a Rough Riders fan, and Jim Hobson texted me yesterday, and he said, thanks for the positive Babs coverage. We're confident in Mike, obviously, with the hiring, and he said that Jim is the chairman of the Huskies Board of Athletics, as you know. So that's a pretty good endorsement there. What has you excited about the hockey, Mike? I don't assume it's changed since you played and coached in it last, I wouldn't think, has it?
Well, I would think probably quite a bit. I think the game grows and changes each and every year. And what worked last year, in your profession, what worked last year doesn't work next year. And if you want to be cutting edge, you got to keep evolving. But, I just got off the Zoom call with the leadership group there, 5 guys. It was great to listen to them talk and to tell me why they went to Saskatchewan, why they became Huskies, what they love about the program. I think that really helps a guy recruit, because you understand what they're thinking. I'll meet with the rest of the team on Zoom later this week, and then we'll have individual FaceTime or Zooms or whatever you want to call it, so I can get to know the group and understand what they think and where it's going. I'm meeting with Dave Adolph, I'm meeting with Dave Adolph later here today to get a lay of the land. And, obviously Dave did an unbelievable job for 27 years. He's retired. I wish him luck in that. And we need to keep the program going the way he's had it going.
Yeah. Dumb question, I guess, when I say it hasn't changed. But I guess what I mean is U of A and U of S have always really been the superpowers. It's been a preferred school. It's got tremendous list of faculty.
U of L was a superpower. We got to remember that.
Yeah, and how are they doing now?
No, they cut. Well, I know exactly what you're saying, though. It's there's real good hockey in the West. They got an unbelievable scholarship program in the Western Hockey League where you can play. You can play to your 20 or 19. You decide to go to school. You still have ambitions, probably playing minor pro or playing overseas. You get a great degree, and you get to compete. And we all know it's about building young men and building players, but setting yourself up for life is so important. And I know my kids are 28, 26, 24. They're going through that process right now. It's an important time of your life to build a foundation to give you a chance to enjoy the rest of it.
Mike, I got to say this. I am more of a U of R guy. Darren is Joe Husky. So, Darren, you had a question for Babs, hockey related.
Well,
right?
Yeah, I think we're all excited about the plan, Mike. And I know we've heard the reports and stuff, but what is your plan? Have you gone down that road of, that assistant coach that they've talked about grooming and that next step, or what's that process going to look like now?
Well, Dave King, so Mr. Husky is in charge of the committee, and they got good people on the committee. I've seen the list in that, but I'm not getting involved until they get it to 4. I think it's real important that Kinger's involved in this process. I've known Kinger for 40 years, and so we've had numerous talks, but our plan is to hire the guy I'm the transfer coach. I'm not being here 27 years at Schultz, but we want to hire the best coach we can, work with them a couple of years. I've had lots of fun in the National Hockey League and hired guys, and they end up being head coaches and run other teams. It's been great. I think we can do this again. That's our plan. And obviously, it's just about making sure our program's the best.
I've got quite a few messages that have come in. I'm going to read just a couple of quick ones. From Kelly Rempel, the Silver Fox. Says, Mike and I worked together. Yeah, he wasn't silver when you worked with him, but now he is, as you know. He says, Mike and I worked together with the Moose Jaw Warriors, 91 and 93. He taught me many skills like organization and hard work. As a boss, Mike was demanding but fair. The most valuable life lessons I learned from Babs probably should not be repeated on the air. Welcome home, my friend. That's from Remps. Sean Steeb, who's now a scout for the Edmonton Oil Kings, sent me a note and said, he corrected me. He said that you coached him at Edmonton, Red Deer College. He goes, Pronghorns was not his first job. So a lot of your old buds coming out of the woodwork, Babs, and I've had your back from day one, as Shocks has told you. But I got to ask you, the last year and a half, what has it been like for you? Because you've taken some shots.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing is the last year and a half for myself and my family has been spectacular. And what I mean by that is, I was a head coach 34 years. I kept saying to my buddies, we'll do that when I get fired. We'll do that when I get fired. Besides the Moose Jaw, I never got fired. So we never got a chance to do that. So when I got fired in Toronto, we went all in on the entertainment. And obviously COVID got involved in the world. And as terrible as it's been, when you got older kids with jobs and they work with Zoom, you spend way more time with them. So that part's been unbelievable. As far as, I'm not a big media guy following what's going on. If you're getting whacked or not. You also know in today's world, the way it is even the people that really value, it's hard for them to step up just because they're going to get whacked too. I know who I am. I know what I've done. Some of this doesn't pass the smell test at all. And what I mean that is just common sense. When you look at my career, I've always been hired by people who knew me. It's not like we had a Zoom meeting. So Brian Murray, who hired me to be the coach in Anaheim, we worked together for 2 years. He knew everything about Mike Babcock. When I went to Detroit, I had worked with Jim Nill and Ken Holland. We had shared a farm team together. They knew everything about me. So they knew me for 4 years. I worked with them for 10 years. Steve Yzerman played for me. He hired me to coach 2 Olympic teams. He worked with me for 4 years in the office and there. Then Shanny hired me to coach. Something doesn't add up. The bottom line is, and I don't know if you're married or not, if you ever said anything to your wife you'd like to get back?
What time is it? Yeah, this morning, I think.
When you're reaching out and you're trying to get things back, my oldest girl would always say to you, Dad, it's not what you say, it's your tone. And we've all made mistakes in our life, and you have to own everything you've done wrong. And I think that's really important. But I also think your intention is so important. You can't have the wife I have and the kids I have and the family I have without being a good human being. I don't have any problem with that whatsoever. I always said to people when I went to Toronto, I got half my salary for coaching the team and half my salary for getting whacked. It's all part of what it is. The bottom line is I'm excited. I'm having a great life. This gives me a chance to go back to Saskatchewan. The people of Saskatchewan, besides my mom and dad, so my mom and dad had an unbelievable influence. They're not alive anymore, but the people of Saskatchewan helped me on my way and were there for me all the time. And it's important that I have an opportunity to go back, and I'm pumped about this. It's going to be great for my family. I'm excited about coaching college hockey. I'm excited. I love Saskatchewan.
You know what? Well, we love you too, Babs, and we're happy to have you coming home. And I only have 2 last questions. And rather than text you later when we're off, I don't want to bother you. Russ Harold says they're using a video for the Pats broadcast of your leadership video you gave Russ. And he says, do you mind? Can you ask Babs if he minds if we use it? He said you would know the video.
Not a chance. I don't. Exactly. He can use it, but I don't have a clue what the video is. But if I said it, he can use it.
That's what I thought. But I said that I would ask you. And then lastly, so you're in Colorado. You bought a ranch. What's the deal? Have I got that right? No?
No, that's not right at all. I have a couple farms in Ohio. I really like the farm and stuff. It gives me something to do. It's what I see myself doing later. I don't know. I've always liked it, and I like it. But we're here in Colorado. We came here because my daughter was out here going to grad school, not in Vail, but Fort Collins. And my dad was a downhill ski instructor. When I lived in the Mackenzie Mountains in the Northwest Territories when I was a kid, my first sport was downhill skiing. To come home from school, put the boots on, slide 2 steps, push the button in the tow rope would start. And then hockey got in the way. I love to downhill ski. So we're out here, and we've been lucky. Our kids have been around, significant others, stuff like that. So we're having a lot of fun, and we're off to the desert next to play golf. So that'll be good.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'm glad I straightened that out. And I think that's about all I had. You, Darren?
That's great.
Yeah. How about you? Anything else you want to say, Mike?
No, you know what, guys? I really appreciate being on. I took a long time. The people in hockey, when I got fired, said, "Hey, Babs, don't say anything." So I just, be honest with you, I went hunting and skiing and around. But after a while, you get tired of hearing some of the things. I think it's important you get to say your piece. But I also think it's important none of us are perfect, and we're all trying to get better. I think you embrace lifelong learning. That'll be another great thing about going back to the school, and you try to get better, and that's all you can do. And so I'm excited to come back to Saskatchewan. Like I said, family's so important. My in-laws, I can't wait to be around them there. And then this U of S program that I'm pumped up about, it'll be fun to get involved.
All the other coaches are excited too, I can tell you that, because there's going to be more eyes on their players, and you know how that works. So, Babs, thanks for the time. Congratulations again. Enjoy what's left of your break, and we'll see you soon.
Rod, thanks for having me on, bud. All the best.
You betcha. All right. Mike Babcock joining us from Colorado, not his ranch. And shame on the person that told me that he was living on a ranch in Colorado. Whatever.
Everybody wants the Yellowstone dream, right?
I feel like we're all just sitting around waiting for season 4 of Yellowstone. That's what I think.
Yes. Why wouldn't you want to have a ranch in Colorado?
Well, I do.
I know.
We'll be right back with Viewer Takeover, and we'll unpack this interview with Mike Babcock. His first in a year and a half. We'll be right back on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube, and Facebook Live, and listen live for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpeterson.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Peterson Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Yeah, and Moose DuPont too. And Ivan Diablo's watching on YouTube, and he says, that car wash is a big advertiser. That's right. Kirby is the Walter White of Regina, and I think I'm going to go see him today.
What the heck is he cooking over there at Suds?
Only in that he owns a car wash, okay? I'm going to see Kirby at Suds Full Service Car Wash right after this. From Terry Carrier, all these comments are regarding the Mike Babcock interview. Good to hear from Bab. Seems like why cry around and defend yourself if you can look in the mirror and like what you see? What else matters? Which is exactly what Mike Babcock just said. Rick Hagelin says, really enjoyed the interview. Bill Lothian, very enjoyable day. Being a U of S grad, congrats, Babs. Great credibility to the program. It's a program that already had great credibility, right? This
hope
just
so.
augments it. I don't think there's any doubt.
There's not.
Jordan Blodgett, Director Jordan, says it's because he drives an Aztec, right? Remember those ugly as hell vehicles? You don't see too many on the road, eh? Nobody wants to get caught dead in those.
You don't. Heavily tinted windows. Presidential tint.
A Jeep, different story. Keep those comments coming in. Prairie Mobile text line 306-840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. I have to mention this. Oh, we did. We showed the picture of Mrs. Cooling, didn't we? So I apologize.
Yes.
When we were talking about youth sports athletes, hockey players who went on to the National Hockey League, this probably should be promoted more. Randy Gregg, someone has brought up.
Oh, yeah.
Ian Herbers.
Yeah.
Corey Cross, Mike Ridley, Stu Grimson. The list goes on and on. And that's just Western Canadian guys.
And so many that are playing in the American Hockey League right now and overseas. I mean, it happens all the time, you know. And I go back to those big programs. I mean, Western's one of them, McMaster, but UNB's kind of the king of the East. Alberta, Saskatchewan, the king of the West.
Yeah.
They're kind of the top three programs. It's wildly exciting. Wildly exciting.
Chris Bird in Toronto says Babcock is the same guy he was when he came to Toronto and is now no BS, common sense coach. Well, they're calling it maybe the Babcock Redemption Tour. That's what Summer's saying. I don't know if this is to rehab his image or not. He just said it. Go back and watch the interview. It's to move home, be around family, coach hockey again. He loves the province. He loves the people. As I said, we love him, and let's see where it goes. Tomorrow, Tim Leeper, longtime Blue Jays first base coach, the voice of the Vancouver Canucks, Brendan Batchelor. Huge thank you to producer Clark, our entire crew, for putting this together today. Huge show. We'll see you tomorrow at 11 Central, noon Eastern on Game Plus. Who has more fun than us?